Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hollywood Underwater, where we take a look at everything and anything about underwater filmmaking. My name is Oscar, and we'll get started here. Today, we're talking Avatar sequels, what we know so far. Now, I did another video, a separate video about what the delay was all about. So, there were several things, including the pandemic. So, the first big behind the scenes thing we saw was just a small video clip that Jon Landau released on Twitter and Instagram.
Back in LA for a small little underwater shoot in our little 500,000 gallon water tank.
So he says in the little 500,000 gallon tank. So what they did was they built one tank in Los Angeles at the Manhattan Beach Studios, and then they built a second tank in New Zealand, which was 900,000 gallons, and they shot scenes in both of them. Now, even before production got started, James Cameron actually got his cast and crew and took them all to Hawaii for about 6 months, I believe, in where they trained underwater because they were going to be doing so much underwater work, and so they had to do their rehearsals and their training, and they got to do it in beautiful Hawaii, of course. So this is James Cameron and Sigourney Weaver there. And then we have some of the new cast that's going to be in the film, and there's going to be quite a number of children in the film. I believe 3 of them are supposed to belong to Jake and Neytiri Sully. Then, of course, Jon Landau started releasing concept artwork for what the world was going to look like near the water on Pandora here. So you see here, this is kind of some habitation. It's just above the water. You have the Na'vi riding their Ikran creatures skimming across the water here, and of course looking very tropical, looking very Southeast Asia, Thailand beaches or El Nido, Palawan in the Philippines, with the mangroves. So obviously beautiful, and again, these are concept, but I'm pretty sure that that'll probably be pretty close to what they're actually showing us here. And of course, we see a lot of the similar details to Pandora, the structures here, the circular structures, and of course the floating rocks still taking place here. And then down here you see, not sure if this is supposed to be Jake and Neytiri, but they are riding these creatures, which I'm assuming will go underwater, and we'll talk about these here in just a moment. And then of course in Avatar, we got a quick glimpse of what the waters in Pandora would look like at night. There's a quick swimming scene. And so, of course, with this images, it looks pretty much similar to the incredibly colorful, phosphorescent underwater sea life, and so hopefully that's something that we're going to get to see a whole lot of. The night stuff was obviously amazing. And then, of course, now we get more of these cool craft that James Cameron always comes up with. This crab-like creature, of course, if we're going underwater, develop something that's sort of similar to sea life. And what I like about these is, for you Aliens, Sigourney Weaver, Ripley fans, these look very similar to the claws that were on the machine that she operates in Aliens. So when I saw this photograph, I thought to myself, man, if they can get Sigourney Weaver in this thing and operate these and spin them around like she did in Aliens, that would be cool. And of course we see guns here, so of course firepower. And then of course, if this thing goes in the water, it doesn't necessarily have to crawl on the bottom of the sea floor. It'll just wrap its legs under, and you can pilot this thing and propel yourself through the Pandora waters. Now, if you're a diver and you've ever gone diving in Southern California, you'll know that this looks pretty familiar, especially like around the Channel Islands and stuff. A lot of kelp, similar, but on Pandora, I think it's probably going to be that much more cool. Now we get to the good stuff, right? This is the cool stuff I like, because this is the tanks. So they've cordoned this one off here to hold back all this white stuff, which I'll talk about here in a minute. And then he can actually have the actors and the crew come up to the surface, and you'll see that they use the noodles just so they can float there while they're listening to James Cameron's direction. And so then they can go back down and do their scenes. Now, these are actually little white plastic balls that are somewhat translucent, so that he can control the light. Now, this was one of the coolest images that they released here, with Sigourney Weaver riding behind this probably stunt character with the scooter, and then eventually, just like the image that I showed earlier of the two Na'vi on top of that water creature, I believe that that's what this is going to be. So I think that those creatures are going to be what they're riding when they are down under the surface, and so I believe that these images here are representative of that. Now, of course, another big star joining the cast is going to be Kate Winslet. So this is her here, and she's doing a performance where she's actually walking on the bottom of the surface here. Now, she went on to actually reveal that James Cameron had 2 safety divers for every actor that was in the water, and 2 safety divers for every crew that was in the water, cinematographer. So you see a couple of them here where they're just off of a frame, and they're holding these, they're like hookahs, where they don't need to do the scuba tank thing as much. That's what they did on The Abyss, and he talked about how they had to constantly, trade these bottles, these air tanks like this. And because they would run out of air. So this way, he finally managed to come up with a system where you just take the hose and you plug it into some unlimited air source somewhere, and then they can just walk over the mouthpiece over to the actor when they need to take a breath. And so they're just a few feet away, and it becomes less of a hazard for the actor and even the cinematographers that are underwater. And of course, Kate Winslet said that she plays some type of winged character, I believe, and this scene here was some kind of ceremonial walk she was doing, and claims that she held her breath for over 7 minutes. I didn't even think that was possible, but hey, it's Hollywood. They still have a lot to do, and the film won't be released. Avatar 2 will not be released until December of 2022, so we're hoping that they release little bits here and there for us, and when they do, I will have those for you. I will end with this amazing shot of the Na'vi couple there overlooking the waters of Pandora, which we will be diving into as much as we can here on Hollywood Underwater. Thank you. I will see you soon.